So once you decide to take your trading to that next level, you're gonna notice that you're gonna start incurring some pretty significant costs. It's really the cost to execute your trading business. Now, if you strategize right, you can take advantage of a lot of these costs in the form of a tax deduction. So in this video, we're gonna be talking about the top 5 tax deductions that active day traders take. Let's get it. Hey, what's up guys? Brian Rivera here, CPA, and I wanted to welcome you to the channel. So on this channel, I typically talk about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and day trading. So if you're new around here, consider subscribing. So once a day trader hits his or her stride, they're gonna quickly see that the cost of doing business can quickly add up. And depending on the type of strategy that you can employ, these costs can be very, very significant. Now, thankfully, with some simple cost-cutting initiatives, mainly around competition from value-based brokers like Robinhood, they've been able to cut commission, which has lowered the entry to the market. However, traders still incur costs. So based on the data that I've seen, an active day trader who qualifies for trader status can typically enjoy somewhere around $8,000 to $14,000 a year in the form of tax savings. So, and because I'm an active day trader and I've been trading the market since 2014, my own personal capital, I'm living proof that I know that this stuff adds up. All right, so number one is gonna be your trading setup. Now, I know a lot of guys prefer the minimalist approach. They think less is better. Maybe they trade from a laptop. Maybe they trade from an iPad or an iPhone or something of that nature. But I'm old school to where I feel like when you go to battle, you want to have the optimal tool set. When you trade in the stock market, you're going against yourself, you're going against other people, you're going against algorithms. So you want to make sure that you have the tools for the trade. And so for me, behind me, you can see my rig where I've got a 3 monitor setup. I've got a pretty powerful PC. I think the entire rig probably cost me somewhere around $4,000. So maybe in the future, I'll do a quick video on what my actual setup is, but that is definitely a top deduction that I see a lot of traders take. And the cool thing is there's something called depreciation, where you can actually expense the entire amount of your computer in the first year, where you can write off that entire cost against your trading related gains. So it's a pretty cool deduction. All right, so number 2 is gonna be education expenses. So one of my favorite scriptures says, as iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. In other words, to get wisdom, you gotta gain wisdom, right? You gotta study, and you gotta study your craft, right? So you find people or mentors who can show you the tricks of the trade. So there is a variety of different educational companies out there where I've seen different formats where you can actually, learn in person. Maybe there's live on-demand boot camps or webinars, or maybe there's a DVD course tied to that particular strategy. There's a lot of different ways to get yourself educated. Now, sometimes those educational companies will also maybe attach like a membership fee or an annual fee or something along those lines to help new traders get educated enough to actually be successful in the stock market. So education is an expense that I see a lot of different day traders take. All right, so number 3, which is my personal favorite, is the home office deduction. Now, if you travel to a physical office and you rent a space and you pay different expenses or utilities to keep that office space up, you can actually deduct that cost against your trading business. Now, me personally, I actually have a physical office that I travel to meet clients and to run a couple of my other businesses. And I also have a home office, which you can see behind me, where I actually execute my day trading when I'm working at home. Now, when you're working at home, there's 2 ways to use the home office deduction. First is the simplified method, where the IRS gives you a standard rate of $5 per square foot, and you can allocate that against a total of 300 square feet. So the max deduction you're gonna get in that year is $1,500. Now, the second way is called the regular method, where you actually allocate a percentage of your home office against the square footage of your house. So typically it's somewhere around 10 to 15% is where the ratio comes in. Now, that ratio is then applied to your actual expenses. So if you're paying electricity, you're paying cable, you got mortgage interest, you got taxes, you got depreciation, you got a whole bunch of different things that you pay to operate your home. And now the IRS allows you to allocate a percentage of those expenses through your trading business based on that square footage percentage of your home office. Now, the caveat is you can't use the home office deduction if you're not profitable. So if there is no income present on your tax return, you won't be able to use the home office deduction, but you can carry that forward to the next year. So if you do reap a profit in the following year, that deduction is not lost. All right, so number 4 is gonna be software subscription services. Now, I know there's a ton of them out there. There's a lot of different bells and whistles that traders are using to execute their business. So to keep it short and sweet, I'm only gonna talk about 3, and these are 3 that I personally use. Now, the first is gonna be a newswire service. And so I actually use something called BenzingaPro. Now, I like BenzingaPro is because it has a couple things. One is it has a news audio squawk to where I can turn this on and they are actually letting me know real-time breaking news that may or may not impact the markets. It's pretty cool is because you're not actually reading the screen, you're just listening to someone read you the news. Now, the second thing I like about it is I can actually put in filters based on things that I'm looking for. So for an example, maybe during earnings season, maybe I want to filter through analyst notes. I want to look at earnings data, maybe earnings reports, maybe look to see if there's any press releases that may impact the stock that I'm trading. So it has a lot of bells and whistles with it. And that's kind of why I like using that newswire to execute my trading, and it is tax deductible. Now, the next subscription service that I use is a scanner. So a lot of people use a lot of different scanners out there. The 2 that I use, one is called Stock Fetcher. It's very old school, and it's just something that I've always kept in my toolkit, and I like it because I can actually program different parameters, and I just hit a button and it'll spit out a bunch of charts where I can do my analysis. Now, the second one that I use is called Scanz. It used to be called Equity Feed, but now it's called Scanz, and I use that because I can actually use that to track real-time momentum. Maybe when I wake up in the morning, I'm looking for the top gainers, the top losers, and it's pretty good in that sense, and I've been using it for so long that it's just one of those things that has permanent real estate on my computer. Now, number 3 is because I trade the options markets, I use an algorithm that tracks unusual activity. Now, there's a ton of them out there, but the one that I particularly use is called FlowAlgo. And I like FlowAlgo is because it really lets me know the different sentiment in the options market, and it also lets me know, if I'm in a position and I see a pretty big, sweep order or call sweep order, that usually lets me know that I'm in the right direction. And so it's very good for processing a lot of different information. But again, there are a ton of trading related subscription services out there. And if you're using those, you can definitely deduct those from a tax perspective. So maybe in the comment section below, let me know some of the trading related subscription services you guys are using, and maybe that you can help a lot of other people out, to help them execute their trading. So as you level up in this game, you're going to start incurring certain professional related fees that can be deducted against your trading business. So some examples, maybe you consulted with a CPA firm and you had a couple questions on taxes and wash sales and mark to market, stuff like that, and you paid a fee to consult with a CPA. Well, that is fully tax deductible on your income tax return if you qualify as a trader, or if you have an entity return, it's also deductible as a business expense on that return. Maybe you used our firm to help you set up an LLC. You're a trader in Texas and you wanted to set up an LLC. Well, the cost to set up that LLC is fully tax deductible as a business expense. Maybe you use our CPA firm to get your tax returns done. That's another expense, fully tax deductible as long as you qualify as an active day trader. And so as you start incurring these professional fees as you progress in your trading career, just remember that these things are fully tax deductible. All right, so moral of the story, day trading is freaking awesome, and it becomes even more awesome when you can deduct a lot of the tools that you are using to execute your trading business. Now, I didn't touch on every single tax deduction that there is out there, but what I am gonna do is I'm gonna hook you guys up with a blog post out on our website, which is gonna list an additional 20 tax deductions, just to give you guys an idea of what a lot of traders in the trading community are deducting from a tax perspective. So thank you for watching today's video, and hopefully you learned something. And don't forget to smash that like and smash that subscribe button, and best of luck to you on your trading journey.